predator and prey.
Look at that. It's a giant lobster carcass. Someone made a meal of this thing. The tail is gone. I think I see the culprit over there. The moray eel. They're serious predators. They grow to over 10 feet long and like this big around. They've got nasty teeth that grip their prey. Plus, they've got this alien-like inner mouth that can grab their prey and pull them into their main mouth. So careful, guys. Don't put your hands on the wall. All right, let's take a swim in this direction. Oh, we got company. Back to the reef shark. Oh, you see a back to this? That one is a reef shark. Keep an eye on him. Chris, shark behind you there. Bang, I see it. Let's take a look down here. Service the divers. Service the divers. Hey, Justin. See any GT down there? No, no GT yet. With tons of prey fish. Lots of sharks. Oh, yeah? Yeah. A little too close for comfort.
Even though their underwater search was shorter than expected, the crew can't help but wonder if the GTs here aren't doing as well as they'd hoped.
A lot of action down there, but no GTs.
But Cyril stays optimistic.
It's not because you don't see them that they're not here. We're coming back to fish here tomorrow.
It's crazy to think that these fish aren't even listed as endangered yet. And we've been struggling to find them.
But when you think that you have to come to such a remote place to be able to find them,
Might as well be endangered.
if we don't act now, if we don't do this kind of studies now, it's most likely going to be the next species on the list. But if there's a place where we stand a chance of catching a fish like this, it's here.
I think so.
All right, cool guys, let's get a drink.
Go to bed.
The team wastes no time. At dawn, they head back to their diving spot.
How spectacular is that? Unreal.
But this time, to fish from Mika's boat. They saw close relatives of giant trevally here, so Cyril is convinced the GTs can't be far.
On est bien là, Mika, on est bien.
Yeah, it looks good here. There's a point that juts out, those rocks that jut out into the ocean. Strategic places for predatory fish. Ambush points. Yep. What is this? Oh, it's a bird, sniper. Oh yeah, there's two.
Dollars per ounce has meant the reward outweighs the risk for a lot of these illegal miners, and sometimes confrontations with law enforcement ensues.
Illegal mining now it has become a national issue. Yeah, so it's not peculiar to go for Tapa mine alone. It's a broader conversation out there. For us here, it is an issue to us as the security department and as a mine, but in our own way, we have our own ways of trying to handle these illegal mining issues. So we try as much to have 24-hour surveillance on our concessions and all the illegal mining prone areas.
In West Africa, 3 to 5 million people depend on unregulated mining, accounting for approximately 30% of its gold production. Known in Ghana as galamsey, it serves as an economic lifeline in areas with limited formal employment opportunities.
You know, in the olden days, or let's say in years past, where there wasn't any area view or any AI, you just go by word of mouth. You get people to tell you, oh, there's illegal mining happening here, and before the task force get there. So with this, we're able to get precision, like point blank, the location and the precise location of all these illegalities.
Ghana's major
of GDP for every NATO country, and now the discussion is about 5%. It is a huge increase, but the times are such that we need this. The problem with defense spending is that you need it while you actually don't have time to make the investments. So you need to make the investments while it is peacetime, and it's very hard to explain to public why we have to spend all that money. But if we spend that money on defense and really develop the capabilities, then it is also acting as a deterrence that aggressors or would-be aggressors would not look our way.
And we know President Trump has been pushing to meet that 5% goal and has taken issue even on his way to the summit, speaking out against Spain specifically for their pushback on attaining that goal. How important, finally, is it for President Trump to have a one-on-one meeting with President Zelensky? I know they were scheduled to meet at the G7 in Canada last week, and obviously events in the Middle East changed that. How important is it for the two of them to meet once again here?
Important that they meet and also discuss all these issues, and President Zelensky can also explain what is happening on the ground and how these all security theaters in the world are actually quite interlinked, like I mentioned before, Russia, Iran, but also more covertly China and North Korea in this part. So I think it's for the security of the whole world.
Yeah, he's still a mass leader, enjoys the support of a large number of MLAs. He's not going to relinquish his post very easily. But right now, there are bigger concerns, bigger fish to fry really for the Congress party, because their own legislators have been creating a big hue and cry, be it about funds, be it about corruption. Now, while Mrs. Siddhamaya is going...
Nirosh is easy. He's 86.
But let's put things into perspective. In total, over 30,000 meetings between MEPs and lobbyists were recorded in 1 year. Of the 20 most active organisations in the European Parliament, 15 represent commercial interests. With a very active presence from the fostering sector, only 5 represent NGOs.
A large fire with multiple fronts rages uncontrollably in the Greek island of Chios for the 3rd day. So far, over 65,000 acres have been reduced to ashes, according to unofficial estimates, and a total of 444 firefighters are battling the flames. The island has been declared in a state of emergency, and police presence has been strengthened, as officials said the possibility of organized arson is being seriously considered. The evacuations of settlements continues for precautionary reasons, with residents expressing their fear and concern about the fire.
Η κατάσταση δεν είναι καθόλου εύκολη. Χθες είχαμε από το Χαλκιό, σήμερα έχουμε από την Παθνόνα. Φοβόμαστε. Θα πούμε ψέματα. Εγώ μάζεψα τα σκυλιά. Ελπίζουμε να βάλουμε μετά από αυτό. Είναι δύσκολα. Είναι πολύ δύσκολα.
Smoke emitted by the fires in Chios has had a significant impact on the atmosphere, according to national data. It said the clouds are now moving south towards the Cyclades.
A state of emergency is in effect in northeastern Bulgaria as a search for a wild black panther entered its 5th day on Tuesday. Authorities in the Shumen region have restricted access to a national park and warned residents of the danger after fresh prints were found on Monday. Authorities have warned that the animal is extremely dangerous and should not be approached.
Още един път да призова всички граждани на Шумен и гостите на градани да преустановят опитите си да навлязат в природния парк. Ситуацията е изключително динамична. Тези мерки ги вземаме, за да запазим живота и здравето на хората, което е наша основна цел.
Traps have been set and specialists are assisting in an effort to capture the animal alive. The operation began after a video was posted on social media showing an animal resembling a black leopard roaming freely in the largest park in Shumen, a popular spot for walking, sports and picnics. In the area of the park, remains of deer and cats, which the animal has fed on, have been found. Tracks have also been discovered near the iconic monument in the park. According to the investigation, the animal did not escape from a zoo. It is believed to have been brought into the country illegally by private individuals and later either released or escaped.
145 people have
provided and no limits on diplomatic and political support, which results in what Ellie described, is a country that has military dominance and is willing to use that to destabilize its neighbors and toward an ultimate end that none of us are quite certain what it is.
Doug, let me come to you first with a question. This ceasefire is going to lead to, at some point, direct talks between Iran and the US. What's the US going to be looking for? What's the pressure points it's going to put on Iran?
Well, to some degree, we can look back to Donald Trump's famous tweet, or whatever he calls his posts on Truth Social, of unconditional surrender. The question is, what leverage does Iran have? Iran's leverage was the potential of nuclear weapons. It was an active nuclear, energy program. How much of that survives? It's hard to know, Trump has said that he's obliterated it. There are others who say, in fact, the U.S. has not. But will he give sanctions relief? What will he ask in return? And what will the Iranians want? The problem is they hate to go in essentially looking like they've surrendered. They hate to go in looking like they're beggars. So what can they ask for in a negotiation with a country that just bombed them? And the president acts like he's now some independent, objective, negotiator. The U.S. Conducted an act of war against Iran. This will be a very strange negotiation, and Iran is going to be in a very difficult position.
Ellie, do you think that this isn't going to be much of a negotiation? Do you think actually the US is just going to dictate terms to Iran because it feels that Iran's on the back foot?